Hey guys, today we are going to shorten this gorgeous dress. As you see, this is a layer of mesh over fabric, and we will have to shorten both. This one a little bit shorter than this one, so let's go and take a look. As you can see, what I did was to ask the customer to try the dress on with her shoes. As she was standing on, I pinned the point where the dress touch the floor. I marked the two layers, first the mesh one and then the fabric, and the final line would be around 1 centimeters or 3/8 of the inch from the floor, like here. And the internal layer will be a little bit shorter at 1 inch from the floor. Because both layers are marked individually, I can safely work with the layers separate. This layer will be a little bit tricky because we will just cut. People might think it's easier since you don't need to finish the edges with a hem, but you need to cut it perfectly. Sometimes, like in this case, you have a mark that is a little bit out of place, so you just ignore it. You see, even the original one, you see how it's dented? This is what you need to avoid. Difficult about this hem because you have to make it straight. But if you are careful enough, you can do it even yourself. You can take your mesh dress and be sure that you measure it very well, and you can cut it yourself, either for your prom or your wedding. Sometimes I cannot even see that well the marks. So what I do is I will just make it a little bit more visible. This one is a very wide dress, so it takes some time. You just have to be patient. If you try to rush it, you will damage the dress. You have to be careful and take all the time the dress needs. A nice trick to cut this dress is use the serger. You cut a little bit longer and then use your serger without thread. And the knife of the serger will make a perfect line. So if you want to make a perfect hem, you can just remove the thread from the needle and then pull the thread down, and then you have here your line, and you can just go like that. And the machine will cut in a perfect way your dress. You see? You see? But for those ones that don't have serger and they want to work with this dress, and the serger can be dangerous too if you are not very used to use it, I will do it with the scissors. There you go. That's my line. Now I will just have to cut it. So now we will proceed to cut. I have a very sharp scissor that I use just for these occasions. When I start to cut, most of the people, what they do, they go like that. I never do that, because if I need to use that part to put it, I don't know. Something can always happen, and I'm just careful all the time. I will start cutting very close to the line, and I will make a pinch like that, just a little pinch like that, and then I will go right away to my seam, my line, and then I will go very slow and steady through the line. This is a process that you cannot rush. You have to make it very slow, take your time, because otherwise you cannot have a nice hem. Whenever you find that you didn't cut it well, you just go ahead and fix it. You have to be more careful to fix it than cutting it. Like that. Now we are in our final cut, and please notice that this is the line and I started to cut a little bit lower, so when I go I have to be in my line like that. Voila, see, a little dent here, so I will fix it. Now we're going to work with this one. So this is my internal layer. This is where, when the customer was standing up, the dress touched the ground. As you may remember, we did the mesh layer 3/8 of the inch on top, and this one should be around 3/4 inch on top of this, like here. So if we measure from here to here, we now know that we will be around 1 inch and 1/4 on top of our mark. So what we have to do is just mark 1 inch and 1/4. I said that anyone can do this hem because when you work with that layer, you don't need that much experience because it's just inside. The only thing though that you have to keep in mind is to have a good measurement. So this is my folding line, and then I will leave a little bit material for folding, so like this one. So I will leave in 1/2 inch, and then I will sew at 3/8. This layer is not as wide as the other one, so this one will go a little faster. Again, I want to emphasize something. This layer is more difficult to pin than the other because it's inside. Usually I don't work that way. I do the first one, and then with the first one I do the second, but this one I found it easier enough to pin it, but still is a little bit difficult. And I want you to see this pin here. You see, this one is here, this one is here. So if I go with the curve, this one will be too low. So I will just ignore that pin because sometimes it's just that the dress moves like that when I'm pinning. Now it's all done. Now we will proceed to cut. Now let's go to sew this one. Next step is to serge before folding. If you don't have serger at home, you can use zigzag in your domestic machine, or you can just simply cut this layer with the pinky shears. Next step is to iron the hem, and we will be done with our project. Next step is to iron the hem, and we will be done with our project. If you have shoal mark in your material, you just have to steam it or iron, and the mark will disappear. Well guys, that was all for today. We have our dress hem. See? It's a beautiful hem. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe. Bye!